So, I mean, if you kind of create a channel potentially around that, which is more speculative investing, albeit it is long term, that would be really interesting, and I definitely would watch it as well. That's crazy.
Oh, I didn't consider that. I think before it was lacking focus. I was talking about that, dividends, just everything. You have a good point on that.
Yeah, so I mean, you could go slow and steady, and depending on your production quality. I have horrible production quality, generally speaking, comparatively to like financial education and grant.
You're definitely improving, and I know, at least for me, I only really care about the content. I'll listen to someone with poor audio just as long as the content's there, But yeah. I get that the average viewer is not necessarily like that, but I can tell you've been improving. I'm seeing custom thumbnails. You're getting better at delivering when you're talking extemporaneously. I think you're on a good path, I would say. From my professional opinion, I guess.
No, thank you. That means a lot. Part of this is like I'm doing it as well for me, because as you know, if you're trying to put content into a channel and it's not working, it gets very stressful.
Yeah.
And especially when you see some other folks, and you probably have this as well. I call it YouTube envy, but you see people with more of a subpar content, but they deliver it better, and so they end up getting, I guess, more recognition, even though.
Or worse, when they steal your ideas.
I've never had that. You probably have a lot more experience with that. When, yeah, okay, interesting. Yeah, I never thought about that.
So yours is more unique. I don't really see anyone, like going on the copying thing. I don't think you really have to worry about it. But yeah, it's definitely an example of, I guess, what you're calling YouTube envy.
Yeah, well, I see a lot of people, even like they just have like they do the same sort of thing every single day, and it's kind of like I'm not really learning. I personally would rather not put out a product if it seems very repetitive.
You might have to part with that way of thinking. See, here's the thing. At least how I see it. Part of listen, most people have no one in the world to talk about investing with. I think you know that. I know that. And the point of the daily content, even if it's repetitive, it's like the comment section. It's like the water cooler. It's the daily radio show to talk around. And, YouTube is all about momentum. It's all about view velocity. If you're getting the views up, you'll get recommended more and more and more. And if you start to slip, you get throttled. It's a vicious treadmill. And so I think you're actually even kind of doing that right now with something like this. Like, you're not really pre-planning the content, but it's a place to hang out, talk. I would say you're probably open to that idea, if I had to guess. Between just like not making a video, not necessarily with a purpose, but just doing it anyway.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm kind of curious what your thought is. I mean, I'll be sure to talk to you more in the future.
Please feel free to talk to me off stream. I don't have Facebook or Instagram, but you can Twitter DM me, and I have an email too I can send you.
Okay, that's crazy. Yeah, this is real interesting. I had no idea. I mean, I kind of had an idea that Top List was big, but I never really clicked on it, to be honest with you. So, is Top List the one that got demonetized?
It's still monetized. So that's what's providing the majority of the income. I had a channel called Text to Meme, which made meme compilations, and that was pulling like, oh goodness, like $15-20 million a month. Or not yet $1 million, I wish. Million views a month, and then correspondingly about a $1 CPM. I think you know this too, but like the worst thing about YouTube is that it's self-employed income. So you get annihilated on taxes. It's horrible.
Yeah, well, I think this will be the first year I make above 1,000. So
yeah, that's true,
I never had to really worry about it, but this year I'll for sure need to worry about it.
That's why I try to get as much as possible from the YouTube stream of income to the dividend passive income thing, because the tax treatment is just so superior.
Yeah. So what platform are you utilizing? Are you utilizing Fidelity, Vanguard, or?
I have, so I'll tell you the three I have, and then the two I actually use. So I have Robinhood, Fidelity, and TD Ameritrade, soon to be Charles Schwab. I mainly use Fidelity and TD Ameritrade. Okay,
why don't you use Robinhood?
It came up, like I said, I've been investing since about 2013, 2014. It wasn't around back then. I would say that's the only reason. And Robinhood, too, I don't think it's really catering to someone in my style. You know what I mean? It's not like TD Ameritrade has commissions any longer, so what's the point?
Yeah. No, I have $40 in my Robinhood, and I think people would probably now like being like, "What?" And the only reason why, to be 100%
I think I have
honest,
my free stock. That's about it.
yeah, I think the only reason why I had made a M1 Finance account is because everyone
Oh,
was
I'm
making.
sorry. Sorry to interrupt. I do have M1 Finance as well. I forgot about that. But
Okay.
that's triple digits. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, so I mean, the only reason why I made M1 Finance is because everyone else has M1 Finance, and I felt like I had to jump on the bandwagon.
It's interesting. It's an interesting platform, and also too, I have to admit, it makes for good YouTube videos. The interface looks awesome.
It
I
does.
mean, if you're like, I'm just being honest, Fidelity, it looks like it's 1998 in there. It just doesn't make a
Yeah.
good platform for making videos. Neither does TD Ameritrade. To be frank, it's not as bad though.
Yeah. Well, the Thinkorswim platform is pretty good. Is that TD Ameritrade? I don't remember.
Yeah, that's TD Ameritrade.
Yeah, so that doesn't look half bad, but maybe it's just because it's got a dark background. I'm a sucker for dark background.
Here's the thing. It looks too technical though for the average person watching investing videos. I would say that. Like, people see that and they see candlesticks and they think, oh, geez, that's too much.
Yeah, I'm logging off. I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, 100%. So that's interesting. So you're in a very interesting predicament. So you're basically at the moment making enough YouTube income where you can meet your expenses. And you're also trying to grow your dividend income so you don't have to worry about a YouTube income.
Exactly.
Wow. And obviously, I have a stupid question, but do you have a work permit to work in South Korea?
So I don't want to talk about the visa situation, but I'm all square on that.
Okay. No,
and if I could get, I think the only limiting factor for being employed here is my skill set. And my skill set over the past few years has really just been YouTube. That's it.
That's really interesting.
And I worry about the long-term viability of the platform. I mean, it probably won't affect you because you're 100% square. But the changes coming up with like the content guidelines and restrictions for kids and all that. I guarantee you won't be affected by it. But it's a concern for a lot of us, I would say.
But yeah, I mean, it was simple as like sometimes I watch big YouTubers. Mostly I focus on the finance, but every once in a while I'll watch like a Tanner Fox or something like that. And I was watching him. He got a Hot Wheels track or something made, and I was like, "This is directed directly to children." I'm just like, I was like trying to think. I was like, "How does this affect him?" This, that, like all these new things now. And I even just went on Amazon to try to I used to have an Amazon affiliate link, and I have no idea what it used to be. So now
those are generally pointless.
Yeah, I'm signing up again for Amazon just to get another $1 or $2. But I went on there, and it was like asking about kids on there as well.
Yeah, here's the thing, man. YouTube, it's not what it used to be. Just online in general is not what it used to be 4 years ago. And you can kind of see like the I'll call it regulatory for lack of a better term. The regulatory restrictions on people are actually getting to the point where it's approaching what cable TV used to be, right? If you need to be compliant with all these guidelines and regulations for children's content beyond all the stuff YouTubers are already dealing with, which I won't get into, the only people who can survive are the larger operations who can, again, afford their regulatory burden, and that's the direction I see it in. I think it's going to become as regulated as TV going forward, and there will be independent people on there, don't get me wrong, but you're going to need a team to be compliant. That's the way I see it. I don't know if you agree or not.
No, 100%. I mean, the fact that you're starting to get to the point where YouTube can bring litigation against you. You're going to have to get a lawyer. You know what I mean? It's like now it's more of a business. It used to be something that people used to be able to operate out of their
cottage industry.
Yeah.
Cottage industry.
And now it's getting to the point where, just like with a lot of things, regulation increases the cost of business. And you're right. I mean, you're going to end up losing the small sort of mom and pop that, and in my opinion, I get more satisfaction watching those guys.
Yeah, me too.
Than some of the big names. But I feel bad because I keep going back to making money on YouTube and stuff like that without.
Hey, listen, no problem at all, man. That's my life's energy. That's what I do. I could talk about that all day.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how recent was the demonetization like last month? Was it like 3 months ago?
It was in August. And so I'll tell you one thing. When you're demonetized, and I'm telling you, it can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
YouTube pockets your last month's of revenue if it isn't paid out on AdSense. They just pocket it. So I had 15 grand sitting in that in limbo, and I emailed them saying, "Oh, sorry, if you don't get remonetized, we keep it," which I think is ridiculous. But what am I going to do against Google? So
That is ridiculous. Did they give you a reason?
So no, that's just how YouTube it is. That's why, like, I love this. This is my passion, but I don't think it's a good career to get into for most people. I think you're fine. I think you're going to be fine, barring unless the SEC has a freak out like the FTC, which is possible. It's definitely possible. There are a lot of scammy investing channels out there. I don't want to jinx it. You're probably fine.
You're probably fine. Yeah.
I want to say that. I really do. I really want to say this. It's doom and gloom for most YouTubers.
About it, though. It's in the back of my head every time I make.
You should. It's not the best career path to get into. You can have. Listen, the income, it goes feast and famine. It's mentally taxing to deal with that. You don't get health insurance. You get taxed at a self-employment rate. It could be better. I mean, if you're pulling a gram, 100K a month, then yeah, sure, whatever. And also he has other stuff, but that's part of why too. I'm always on the edge. I want to get out, but this is what I do. I frankly, not to seem arrogant, and I apologize if I do. I'm good at this. I know I'm good at this.